Good afternoon. My name is Jackson Vaughan. Today I'll be doing my project for MEA 100, and I am doing my project on the 2002 eruption of Mount Nyiragongo. So just to give some background information on the volcano and what we're dealing with, Mount Nyiragongo is a stratovolcano located on the African tectonic plate on the west coast. It resides near Goma, a city in the Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu region. It's right near the border of Rwanda. So, to give some information about the plate tectonics we're dealing with here, Mount Nyiragongo is formed on a divergent plate boundary, so that basically just means the plates are splitting apart in that location, and as a result, molten magma and other rock is being pushed up to the surface, which gives it the stratovolcano shape. The mountain is constantly being compressed between these two plates, which thins it and then makes it spread up, as opposed to a shield volcano, which is very flat and gradual. So, as for what caused the eruption in 2002, there was nothing specific like an earthquake or something along those lines that would lead directly to an eruption. Though the area consists highly of seismic activity, there's constant seismic activity in this area. And then around the time of the eruption, there was fracturing of tectonic plates in the area, which was leading to a build. So when you couple all of this, it led to a big buildup of energy, and the way it was released is in the eruption. So the lava at Mount Nyiragongo is the hottest in the world. And because of this, it's not very thick and fast flowing, which is a recipe for just vast destruction. Following the eruption, the villagers hadn't been taking the warnings leading up to the eruption itself seriously, just because they didn't necessarily trust the data. They didn't want to leave their homes. They didn't want to leave their stuff behind. But because of this, it led to even more destruction than there might have been. There was 147 total deaths, with 20 to 30 coming from a gas station explosion, depending on the source you talk to, and about 470 injuries. 30,000 people ended up being displaced from their homes. Along with that, there's 4,500 houses destroyed and 14 villages destroyed. And it was all said and done, there was 400,000 refugees left. Now, most of them migrated over into neighboring Rwanda to seek refuge, and as for other ones, they just went to neighboring towns, cities, and villages. So, believe it or not, the fastest flowing and hottest lava in the world wasn't the only hazard surrounding this eruption. Around the city of Kivu, there are these springs filled with carbon dioxide and invisible gas. These are called muzukus. And during an eruption, during the panic and running around and just trying to escape, these could become very deadly if somebody were to fall and become trapped in one. And along with that, Lake Kivu is also home to a very large hazard. It's one of three exploding lakes in the entire world, and being the largest one at that. It stores up to 500 million pounds of carbon dioxide and methane under its surface. And to put that in perspective, when eruptions like this are happening, there's always a chance that it could bottle up and release. And that would be an event that could be bigger than the volcanic eruption itself. So that is something that they have to keep a constant eye on, especially when big eruptions are happening. So while this entire event itself is terrible that this all happened, some positives did come out of it. As I mentioned earlier, The locals didn't necessarily take the warning seriously because they didn't want to abandon their homes and their stuff. And just frankly, at that, they didn't necessarily trust them. But sadly, it took such a devastating event for it to be taken seriously. But as a result, there are scientists monitoring seismic data around Mount Nyiragongo at all times. They receive new seismic data every 4 minutes, keeping an eye on it just in case another eruption is due to happen. And since then, the locals have started to have a high degree of respect for them, even becoming local celebrities in some regard. So, while yes, the 2002 eruption was a terrible thing, it has been remembered and used as a learning tool now. And here is my bibliography listing out my websites from like the Smithsonian, NASA. I used a YouTube video from a dude who visited and photographed around the lava lake from National Geographic, and then I also have my photos listed as well. Thank you.